Welcome to my channel. This is where we share scary stories from around the world. And today's story is going to be told by user Slinky123. So let's jump into it. Horror, my houseplant whispered my name last night. I live alone in a one-bedroom apartment with my 2 cats. It's an old building, and there are definitely some drafts. Sometimes when I'm in bed at night, I swear I can hear whispers and footsteps above me in the apartment above. But I always just assume it's the wind or maybe some pipes. Or, for the last couple of months, I've been growing this Monstera deliciosa from a small cutting to a pretty large plant. I repotted it about 2 weeks ago, and since then, it's been doing great. It's a sensitive area, so I keep it away from any vents or anything that could cause a draft. Last night I was getting ready for bed and I noticed the leaves were drooping down, and it looked like it wanted water, so I went to grab the watering can. As I'm watering it, I notice a leaf falls off, which is fine. Plants drop leaves all the time. But as I look up to put the watering can back, I see another leaf fall right in front of my eyes. I freak out a little because these plants rarely do that. I go to check the soil and it's bone dry. Obviously, I don't want to drown it, so I just water it until it looks like enough has been absorbed and I walk away. A few minutes later, I hear what sounds like a splash from the other room. I write it off and go to bed. About 4 hours later, I am awoken from a dead sleep to what sounds like someone whispering my name. I sit up in bed trying to listen, but couldn't hear anything over my own heartbeat. I laid back down and tried to go back to sleep. Then I hear it again, clear as day, my name being whispered. I get up again and start to investigate. The cats are both asleep in their beds, so I rule them out. As I'm checking around the apartment for any open windows or doors, I hear it again, my name. I run into the kitchen to find the source and see that the water I'd just given the plant had all leaked out, and it was sitting in a pool of water. I have no idea how much of that splash I had heard in my sleep, but now it's obvious that whatever I had heard wasn't my imagination. I go to change into a clean set of pajamas, and I notice that my phone has died overnight. I plug it in, and while it's charging, I go to take care of the plant. As I'm moving the pot, I notice more water on the floor. I lift it up, and sure enough, the drainage hole is clogged, and the water is pouring out of the sides. I take it to the sink to try to clear the hole, and as I'm doing that, I hear it again, my name being whispered right in my ear. I scream and drop the pot. There's water everywhere, and the plant falls to the ground. I stand there in shock. I hear it one last time. I turn around slowly to see the plant sitting in a pool of water on the floor, leaves drooping down, whispering my name. I called my mom in the middle of the night. Didn't want to call the police and sound crazy. I knew they wouldn't do anything. Instead, I stayed at my mom's house for a few days until I could get someone to come and fix the hole in the wall and make sure there were any other issues in the apartment. Now, before I go and explain what happened to the plant, I want to say that while I was gone, my mom watered it multiple times and made sure that the drainage hole was clear. She even soaked the entire plant in water to make sure it wasn't root-bound. So it definitely wasn't a lack of water causing the issue. The only thing I can think of is that maybe the water had just expanded as it froze overnight, and that's what caused the sound. That still doesn't explain why it was whispering my name, though. While I was at school, she checked on it multiple times, and it didn't do it again. Even after she moved it next to her own bedroom and slept with the door open, it didn't whisper. When I got home, I brought it back and placed it back in the living room. 3 nights later, I was awoken in the middle of the night to what sounded like glass shattering. I ran into the kitchen and found the pot on the floor and the plant completely destroyed. There was a shard of glass sticking out of the soil, and a few of the leaves had cuts in them. My mom and I agree that it was probably just a wild animal that snuck in through the balcony door. We are in Florida, so it could have been a raccoon or something. But it was strange that it would choose to destroy my plant and not anything else in the apartment. Ow. I threw out the remains of the plant and replaced it with a smaller pothos. Now, whenever I hear a noise at night, I just assume it's my imagination and go back to sleep. That was the story of Monstrosa Cannibal by Slinky123. And if you liked this story, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want to hear more stories like this, then you can check out the playlist. I'll see you next time.